Hello, great people. My name is Mudiora Kariara, a presidential candidate in the forthcoming general election that's slated to happen on the 9th of August 2022. I'm so glad that you've taken your time to follow these broadcasts of yet another amazing episode of The Great Hour. The Great Hour is a political platform where we examine the state of our nation, that is the great nation of Kenya. We discuss ideas that can help to lift our country from where it is at to where it needs to be. Of course, without doubt, Kenya has immense potential. But unfortunately, due to malfeasance in our leadership, we have not been able to rise to the occasion. We've not been able to deliver to the Kenyan people the promise of Uhuru, and that was that we would eradicate poverty, disease, and ignorance. Yes, we're still stuck in that rut that we were in when the colonialists were in charge here in Kenya, even after we shed so much blood, put in so much tears and sweat to liberate ourselves. Yes, of course, the dream of the great nation of Kenya is still alive in the hearts of many. And we here will make sure that we do not relent, we do not sleep on the job until it's done. So if you're just joining us, karibu sana. Hii broadcast huwa inakuja kwenu kwa udhamini wa chama kinachokuwa kwa kasi sana humu nchini, chama cha The Great Nationhood Party of Kenya, TGN. Tumekuwa tukijipanga ili katika uchaguzi wa 2022 tuwanie nyadhifa zote. Tuanzie na wadhifa wa MCA, twende kwenye MP, Women Representative, Senator, Governor na hata urais. Na nimetangaza kwamba mimi Mudiora Kariara nitakuwa napeperusha bendera ya TGN nikiwania wadhifa wa urais. Kwa hiyo kabla twende sana, ningependa tuanze na wimbo wa taifa ili hii shughuli iwe na ile theme ya uzalendo, manake bila uzalendo kuna mengi ambayo hatutaweza kutimiza. Niwakumbushe tu kwamba chama cha TGN kina nguzo 5 muhimu. Nguzo ya kwanza ikiwa ni patriotism au uzalendo. Na uzalendo wa kweli huwa umepigiwa mstari na uadilifu, integrity. Courage na character ni nguzo nyingine ambayo katika chama cha TGN na movement yote hii ya The Great Nationhood tunazingatia sana. Kuna vision na action. Sasa ikiwa hivi ni vitu ambavyo wewe unavithamini, basi ni muhimu ujiunge nasi. Sasa nikijiandaa kucheza wimbo wa taifa, naona wenzetu wamejiunga nasi na nashukuru kwamba mmetengeneza muda. Namuona Calvin Otieno Jura, mheshimiwa, yuko kwenye broadcast. Asante sana. Na naona wengine pia wapo na watajiunga nasi. Kwa hiyo kama kuna mtu ambaye ungependa achangie ama asikie mawazo ya wazalendo, tafadhali share hii link kwenye contacts ambazo unazo kwenye simu ama kwenye Facebook, na pamoja tutajadiliana na huenda tukapata suluhu ya yale masuala ambayo yamekuwa yanazuia Kenya kuwa taifa kuu. Asanteni sana kwa kuwa pamoja na sisi. Hapa tu kidogo nasema tuanze na wimbo wa taifa. Mungu nguvu yetu, ilete baraka kwetu, haki iwe ngao na mlinzi, na tukae na undugu, amani na uhuru, na tupate na ustawi. Nguvu zetu Thank you very much. That is our national prayer, that in this country, in this beloved motherland of ours, we will have plenty within our borders, na kwa pamoja tutakuwa na shukrani, manake tutayapata yale yote ambayo yatatuwezesha kutimiza malengo ya sisi kuwa hapa ulimwenguni. Sasa jambo la kwanza ambalo ningependa tulivalie njuga ni swala kuhusu gharama ya maisha. Sijui pato lako limekuwa vipi katika kipindi cha kama miaka mitatu iliyopita, lakini wengi ambao nimetengamana nao wamekuwa wakilalamikia kuhusu kupanda kwa gharama ya maisha. The only thing that has been rivaling the cost of living in Kenya has been corruption and possibly the number of aspiring MCAs. Maanake anasikia kwenye kila familia sasa hivi kuna mmoja ambaye amejitokeza kuwa atakuwa anawania kuwa MCA wa hilo sehemu yao, na sio vibaya, maanake ni demokrasia, katiba yetu inaruhusu hilo. Lakini tuombe kwamba wote ambao wamejitokeza kuwania nyadhifa mbalimbali, nia yao ni kuinua taifa la Kenya ili tuondokee hii mediocrity ambayo imetukwaza. We be a great country that fulfills the social economic rights of its people as enshrined in Article 43 of our Constitution. So yes, the cost of living has been going up, and it appears from the requirement that we need to raise revenue to pay our debts, we're not going to have a respite. So, my dearly beloved countrymen, what are we going to do about this? Because clearly, people's wealth is being eroded. We are sinking further into poverty. And the politicians, knowing all these, are promising us solutions that actually do not come from their hearts. They are telling us things that they think we want to hear. What are you doing in your capacity to increase awareness and raise the level of understanding and education of the people around you? Because if enough people understood the issues in this country, then they would attempt to provide solutions, and they would not be swept by a wave. They would not be hoodwinked. So today, I urge you to take the responsibility of sharing knowledge seriously, and let those in your sphere of influence understand that there is power within their hands. When the politicians come to us, let us show them that we understand that building this nation is our responsibility. It's not that we delegate authority to them and we leave it all for them to decide for us. Yes, let's be part of the process. Let us participate in implementing the solutions. So I see I have Patrick Kaloki, he's joined in. Lawrence, Ridge, Forrester, Brooke, thank you very much for being part of these broadcasts. Yes, remember, it's not a one-way conversation we are having here. I would like for you to make your comments known. So type in the comment section And I hope in the next broadcast you will come on board, get the link, and let's hear your thoughts. Let's have you talk about issues directly. Okay. So, yes, we've mentioned the first item, but then let's look at the big thing, and that is we have a leadership in Kenya that is a bit amorphous because, according to our constitution, we have the president being head of government, head of state. And so during state functions, he's supposed to officiate, being the one that addresses the nation last. But then during our last Jamhuri Day celebrations, after our president spoke, he breached protocol and invited his brother, otherwise his erstwhile rival, Raila Amolo Odinga, to greet the people. As he said, yeah, it appeared like the people wanted him to address them. So when the president did this, of course, people say he's the president, he can do whatever it is that he chooses, that he pleases. But then there's a reason as to why customs and traditions are put in place. Yes, Raila Amolo Odinga is a senior statesman in Kenya, and he's given his life to the advancement of social and economic rights. And so, of course, when there's an opportunity for him to share his sentiments with the people in a function like that, he should be given opportunity. But then he should have been given a slot according to how protocol rolls out. So I'm asking, could what the president did, that is breaching protocol, be a confirmation that he's not apologetic for the times when he has had to disregard court orders and thereby, let's say it as it is, rule of law? We know that there are a number of court orders that have been given by our judiciary and our government, led by His Excellency, the President, has not honored them. Is it true to say that our president is not very keen in following the law when it's not convenient for him to do so? Well, of course, we all know that he's fallen out with his deputy. His deputy, unfortunately, since he got in for the second term, has been out there campaigning to be president, and thereby the president did not have room to stomach these advances that the deputy president has been doing. And so the national symbol of unity has failed. But then, in as much as in one way that's going on, is it okay for us to say there's no problem with when the president breaches protocol in a national event? What if we also copy the example and at home choose to do things casually as our president has done them before? Well, I don't know, but my people, it's time for us as patriotic Kenyans to realize that the business of moving Kenya forward is entirely in our hands. The politicians are out there circling around us so we can vote them to go to the National Assembly, to go to the governor's mansion, to go to the county assemblies. But then when they get there, are they going to apply themselves diligently to the task of nation building? Or are they going to disregard our constitution and the rule of law and loot our resources for their own personal gratification and enrichment? I'm running for president, and I'm asking anyone that feels that they have the burden to better this nation to come forward for that purpose alone and join forces with other Kenyans who are patriotic enough to not play small in this very important exercise. We like it or not, we'll have an election next year. And people who will run in that election will get into office if they garner the majority of the votes. And whether they govern us in a way that suits us or not will depend on the choices that we as Kenyans will make. So please do not stay aloof, because when you're distant from your leadership, then terrible things happen. Like, for instance, there is that terrible disaster that happened in Siaya County where miners got trapped when the mine they were working in collapsed. And it took the government so long to respond. But even after the response came, they were only able to rescue a number of those who were trapped in there. And unfortunately, some people lost their lives. And to date, it hasn't been established whether the last miner who had not been accounted for is still alive or not. But then the rescue exercise was called off. And this is a manifestation of a leadership that's not responsive to the people. And if we make the same mistake in 2022, we will elect MCAs, members of parliament, senators, women representatives, governors, and even a president who is not responsive to our plight as a people. So please look at the examples of poor representation we have and learn from that, and ensure that when we get into 2022, we're not going to repeat the same mistake. We have honorable people out there, people who are visionary enough and ready to do the radical break that we need from status quo and the basis of leadership we have had that has not addressed the things that need to be addressed. Yes, we are a country that is struggling under heavy borrowing, but even with that, we are still a country that is stealing a lot from the money that has been borrowed or raised from the taxes. If this is to end, my dearly beloved people, we need to draw the line somewhere. I have met people who are busy extorting money from aspirants. Yes, you know the culture of unatuachaje. But as long as we base this very critical job of employing our leaders based on the handouts that they give, you can be sure it's not going to be possible for us to police them once they get into office. So my appeal to you is, as much as we are going through difficult times, that handout from a politician is not worth it. Do not embolden them to steal from us by demanding it now, because indeed when they get into office, they will remember the indignity you put them through when they were looking for your vote. Let us keep our dignity and honor intact so we can demand from our leaders true representation. Inawezekana. Chile did the unthinkable. They elected a leftist leader who has not been part of the system. A 35-year-old is now going to be head of that Latin American country. And I'm hoping that the breath of fresh air from Chile is going to breeze into Kenya. So we can be different from what we have been before. We have relied on the same people who have pilfered our resources. We've relied on the same people who have divided us along tribal lines. We have relied on the same people who have not been able to reinvent how we go about our leadership. It's time for us to do things differently. It's time for us to imagine a Kenya that is great, that delivers true social, economic rights to their people. Earlier today, people were afraid that the president, in an announcement that had been hyped to happen in the afternoon, was going to lock down our nation again, reintroduce curfew and other COVID measures that stifle how we go about our daily lives. If indeed we knew that we had true representation, then we would have nothing to fear, because we would know that our leadership understands where the nation is at and will do that which the people need to happen. So, my dear countrymen, let's not do that. Let's not leave the business of leading this nation in the hands of the politicians. Let's engage with the process. Let's be part of it. Because if we are not part of it, then we'll be left with a situation like the one that happened when High Court issued instructions that the DCI chief was supposed to be arrested by the Inspector General of Police. Of course, it didn't happen. Someone got the courts to issue an injunction postponing the same to April next year. Had the due process been followed to arrive at a position where the head of the Directorate of Criminal Investigation needed to be arrested, I can guarantee you enough had been done. But then Kenya being the country that it is, where rule of law and impunity things that we've taken so casually, of course, we've scattered around the matter. But I can guarantee you, if you're a commoner and you're found on the wrong end of the law, action will be taken against you, and you might not get the justice that you deserve. If this is going to change, where our institutions are not going to be run based on who or what position one holds, then we have to put in place a kind of leadership that upholds integrity, a kind of leadership that upholds constitutionalism. Yes, that's the kind of leadership that I represent, and I believe you need to institute in Kenya. I'm running for president based on a platform that will end corruption, a platform that will grow the economy and create the jobs that Kenyans need, the kind of leadership that will see that transformative education is a reality to our children, a society where quality, affordable, and accessible healthcare is within reach. Well, I'm telling you that if Kenya is to cut on the borrowing, then we have to get all the people working out there that are from this nation to team up with the opportunities that we have back here. So the diaspora contributes positively to our development. We can borrow from our community in the diaspora. We can have them in private-public partnerships. And that can help us take less of the concessional loans that our country has been taking and focus more on partnerships that ensure that we cut on our taxes. Thank you for your time. I hope that on Wednesday, when you join us for the Great Hour, we'll have a session that's more interactive. I thank you all for your time. I thank you for making it possible. I see lots of people commenting. Joseph, thank you very much. Patrick, thank you for being part of this broadcast. We'll be engaging more, and I hope that we share, we tell people that a great nation of Kenya is possible. Thank you very much for your time. May God keep you, and may God bless the great nation of Kenya. Bye for now. Thank you.